The Sweet Fragrance of Life and Other Horror Stories, written and read by Elizabeth Schwartz.
Yiddish Narratorin, Yelena Shmulenson.
The Rebbe's Prayer is Answered. The Kornitzer Rebbe surveyed his Sabbath table with satisfaction. To his right sat one of the most prominent families in all of Kornitz. To his left, his two most promising students. But despite the difference in their stations, each of his guests held their beloved Rebbe in high esteem. Quick-witted and learned, but patient, the Kornitzer Rebbe led his flock faithfully, inspiring them so much that he had become known by great Rebbes throughout Poland. The Rebbitzin Gittel had been the daughter of the Slutzker Rebbe, but during her 20 years of marriage to the Rebbe, she had become as revered for her modest piety as her husband had for his intellect and spiritual leadership. The Rebbitzin Gittel was one of the finest cooks in all of Poland. The Rebbe patted his belly in satisfaction, still savoring the tzimmis, the roast goose, the golden broth, the potato kugel, and his favorite treat of all, Gittel's extraordinary pickles, which she brined the year round in their root cellar. For many years now, Gittel's cooking had been the only thing to arouse any hunger in her husband, for the Rebbitzin was as barren as she was good. That such a great Rebbe had no heir? Well, it must have been God's will. The Rebbe grew discomfited by the direction of his thoughts. As Gittel bent to fill his glass with tea, his gaze took in the stray, wiry gray hairs that had escaped the confines of her scarf. His nose was filled with the smells of cooking that clung to the Rebbitzin, goose fat and, most strongly, the garlic from her pickles, and he thought, how can it be that an aroma can be so appetizing on the plate, but not on the skin? Almost in guilty compensation, the Rebbe praised his wife's modesty, her hospitality, and her extraordinary cooking to their guests, taking great care to single out her pickles, to such an unusual extent that he could detect a flash of confused pleasure in Gittel's look to him. But another word about the Rebbitzin and her pickles. Uniformly crunchy, a deep, rich green, garlicky, salty, and sour. Each was as perfect as a pickle.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?